Somewhere on the very edge of a small, quiet village stood a wondrous forest.
It looked like any other forest, green and full of life, with birds singing and animals scurrying about.
But deep in its center grew something truly special. A huge, ancient tree. Its crown was wide and welcoming. Its bark felt warm to the touch. And if you looked closely, you could almost see a wise, kind smile carved into its trunk. This was no ordinary tree. Its name was Trustworthy talking tree. Very few people knew of its existence. Sometimes, children with hearts full of adventure would hear strange, gentle whispers carried on the wind, rustling through the leaves. But who would believe that a tree could actually talk? Well, that all changed the day a boy named Elliot arrived in the village. Elliot was a friendly and curious boy, but he was also very, very lonely. His parents had recently moved the family from the big city, and everything was new and overwhelming. A new school, new faces, a whole new life. Elliot felt like he didn't belong. One afternoon, as he was walking sadly along a forest path, he heard a quiet, deep voice. It seemed to come from all around him. "Where are you wandering so sadly, little traveler?"
Elliot jumped and spun around, his eyes wide.
There was no one there. "I'm up here," the voice said again, warm and gentle. The boy slowly looked up, ... and saw the enormous tree blink. Yes, a real blink. Its bark creased around what looked like a giant, sleepy eye. "You, ... you can talk," Elliot stammered, completely stunned.
Trustwood let out a soft, rumbling laugh, and its leaves trembled like thousands of tiny bells. "And why not?"
The tree replied.
"I'm here to listen, to help, and to be a reliable friend to those who need one."
Something about the tree's voice made Elliot feel safe.
He sat down at its base, nestled among the giant roots, and told Trustwood everything. He talked about how hard the move had been, how much he missed his old friends, and how scared he was that he'd never fit in at his new school. Trustwood listened patiently, its branches swaying gently as if nodding in understanding. When Elliot finished, the tree spoke. "Every journey begins with a small step," it said wisely, "and I'll help you take it more boldly." From that moment on, an incredible friendship began. Every day after school, Elliot would race to the forest. Trustwood would tell him amazing stories about the secret lives of animals. Stories about the wind that had traveled all over the world, and lessons on how to listen to the world around you. The tree taught the boy about courage, about kindness, and about the strength that comes from within. One day, the tree had a strange request. "Elliot," it said, "would you bring me a bucket of water from the spring? My branches are feeling a bit dry today."
Elliot chuckled, thinking it was a funny game, but he happily fetched the water.
When he returned and poured it at the tree's base, Trustwood spoke again. "You see, when we help each other, trust grows deep, like roots in the ground." Elliot felt that truth in his heart. For the first time in a long, long time, he didn't feel alone anymore. But one day, a strange feeling of unrest settled over the forest. The birds flew about anxiously, chirping warnings. The animals hid in their burrows and dipped. It felt like something was wrong. Elliot ran straight to
"What's happening?" he cried. "Why is everyone so afraid?"
The forest senses a change, the tree explained, its voice serious. "The old bridge that crosses the river has broken. If it isn't repaired, many animals will be trapped on one side, unable to reach their homes or find food. I can help," Elliot declared without a moment's hesitation. Trustwood's smile returned. "That's wonderful, but A task this big needs a team. Elliot's heart sank. A team. That meant he would have to ask the other kids at school for help.
The same kids who mostly ignored him. It felt impossible.
But the courage Trustwood had taught him was taking root.
He took a deep breath and approached a few of his classmates the next day. At first, they laughed at him. A talking tree needs us to build a bridge for squirrels. You're kidding, right? One of them joked, but Elliot stood his ground. He spoke with such confidence and seriousness about helping the forest that the kids started to listen. They saw the passion in his eyes.
Intrigued, they agreed to come and see for themselves.
When they all arrived at the river, they saw the problem.
The bridge was completely washed out. Guided by Elliot, the group got to work. Even Trustwood helped, using its long, flexible branches to move heavy logs into place. The children gathered stones and branches, working together. The forest animals, seeming to understand, came out to help in their own ways, dragging twigs and clearing paths.
Soon, a new bridge stood in place of the old one, strong, sturdy, and beautiful.
As the first animals cautiously began to cross, the children watched in silent awe. One of the boys turned to Elliot. You know, you're pretty cool, Elliot, he said, a genuine smile on his face.
This was amazing.
And just like that, with a shared purpose and a little bit of magic, Elliot made his first real friends. A few days later, Trustwood called to him. Elliot, come to the clearing. Today is a special day. The forest wants to thank you. When the boy arrived, he couldn't believe his eyes. The clearing was filled with a soft, magical light. Thousands of fireflies danced in the air like floating stars. Birds were singing beautiful melodies, and all around Trustwood, animals of every kind had gathered. It was a celebration.
Elliot Trustwood said softly, its voice full of pride.
You have proven that you can be a true friend to the forest and to people. Never forget that kindness is the most powerful force of all. It's what makes the world a brighter place.
A warm, happy glow spread through Elliot's chest.
From that day on, Elliot's life was completely different. He had friends at school who he laughed and played with. He had a newfound confidence in himself. And best of all, he had a wise and reliable mentor waiting for him in the forest. He continued to visit Trustwood every day, sharing his stories and learning new lessons. And each time, the tree would remind him, the adventures are just beginning, my friend. The most important thing is to always believe in yourself and be kind to others. So Elliot grew, and as he did, his heart grew to becoming as big as strong and as warm as the crown of his best friend, the trustworthy talking tree. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need a little magic in their day. Until next time, keep exploring and keep being kind.